Hello Sagittarius, this is Ashley and we are going to be doing your September 2021 general reading. This one's going to be a little bit different in that we're going to look at something that is a strength for you this month, a challenge, and then an outcome. So this will be like completely future focused, so it may not resonate right off the bat. It could be something that you may want to come back to as we kind of get into the month of September, if you find that this scenario arises for you. Now, if there are cards that come through that kind of point to a past situation, I will speak to that. But I do recommend you check your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements for any additional guidance that you may be seeking. And please remember to subscribe and like the video. Now this will cover just the last few days of August as well. I think it's the 29th through the 31st. So it's really kind of just this last week of August into the beginning of September. But the intention is that this is just kind of a situation that comes up and plays out in the month of September. Now, something to keep in mind is that we also have a Mercury retrograde that's happening in Virgo. Starts on the 27th of September. But then Mercury will retrograde back all the way to about 10 degrees of Virgo. And so something that comes up in this month could easily kind of come back around later for a deeper look. And then another announcement that I wanted to make is that I will be doing like a fall bonus love reading to kind of project or predict what's coming up in the area of love, specifically for September, October, November. And I'll be posting those as I finish them, so they should be trickling out this week. So look for those if you're specifically looking at love. All right, so Sagittarius, let's see what is coming through. So we have immediately the Nine of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. We have the Hermit, the Five of Wands, and the Two of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Emperor, Queen of Wands, the Star, and the Four of Cups. Okay, so interesting. I think we might have a specific soulmate situation that is coming to an end. However, it is showing up in the position of your strength for the month. So I'll show it to you upright. So it could very well be some kind of love situation that is coming to an end in the month of September. It could also be a friendship. So any kind of love relationship here. What's interesting is I'm seeing, I don't know that I've ever noticed this. So we have two, I believe they're king penguins. One has a keyhole in its heart and the other one is holding the key. But what's above them is this like angelic face. And then I'm also seeing this like blue scarf that I've never noticed. And so it's almost like It actually kind of reminds me of Mother Mary energy. So if you've ever worked with the divine feminine or mother energy, that blue kind of calming energy is coming through in this particular oracle card. And I've seen this card several times and never noticed that. So, but in the reverse position, there's something that is coming to an end. And I'm just going to really quickly read you that protection message because it's in the reverse. An important relationship brings you to your knees. This is the kind of soulmate who comes with a powerful gift. Your patterns and all your old stories don't serve your well-being. To enter into this dynamic so you can heal them. Excuse me. Your patterns and all your old stories that don't serve your well-being, enter into this dynamic so you can heal them. This person is called to a sacred task to help you learn, even if it seems uncomfortable, sticky, or even inconceivable. The question is not, why did he or she do this to me, but rather, what is the gift in this? Look into this mirror, you will only be changed for the better. So, because it's coming up in the strength position, now that might not seem to be the case if you're experiencing some kind of disconnect here. This could even be the loss of a loved one. But something about this relationship ending is coming up as your strength. And so we're going to kind of look at that a little bit deeper. We have the Hermit, the Knight of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. It's almost like this relationship ending has sort of pushed you into this hermit-like energy. And we go into hermit mode, I call it, whenever we've experienced kind of something shocking, perhaps. But essentially we kind of retreat and we go into this like self-reflection energy, and that's where we get that beacon of light. You know, the Hermit in tarot carries the star, and we do have the star card showing up here. So something about this ending has kind of like illuminated some sort of inner wisdom for you, but I also kind of feel like it's really boosted or will be boosting your confidence and just like your passion for things moving forward. So let's get some clarifiers on this to kind of get some more detail. But try to keep in mind that this is somehow serving as your strength for the month. So why do we have the Hermit? We have the Three of Pentacles and the Four of Cups. The Knight of Wands, we have the King of Cups, and we have the King of Cups here in the center as well. And the Seven of Wands. And then with the Queen of Wands, we're getting the Death card. And the Four of Pentacles. Okay. I kind of feel like this is going to get deep, Sagittarius, so bear with me here. Okay. And we have the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck, so it does feel like this is some kind of, you know, a deep soulmate connection here. But I think what it's kind of bringing to light for you, it's almost like this hermit reflection period you've gone into has provided you with an opportunity to see what it is that you need to work on. And that's really what I'm getting from this, is that, and it could very well be just in relationships, but I almost feel like it's just more of like a deeper aspect of yourself that you haven't seen before. You see how this character here is not noticing this Four of Cups, And so in some ways, this is kind of a gift because you're receiving this cup, this knowledge about yourself. With the King of Cups and the Seven of Wands and the Knight of Wands here, I kind of feel like we have this energy of perhaps there has been some kind of like, almost like, it's almost like you're standing more strongly in your emotional world as a result of this change in this relationship that took place, or is going to take place. I keep talking about it like it's the past. And it may be that coming into September, this is something that has happened, and then, you know, you kind of are progressing forward. But somehow I feel like it's almost like building up your internal passions, because it's forced you to connect with some emotions that maybe you've been, you know, a bit guarded against in the past. And, you know, oftentimes when we experience something that is so impactful as a heartbreak, you know, it kind of forces that heart open, and it kind of tenderizes it in such a way, right? With the Queen of Wands, I do feel like that something about this ending has kind of knocked your confidence. It's kind of shaken your foundations. And it's kind of like shook up your view of how, you know, the possibilities of a relationship lasting or whatever can kind of feel less secure now moving forward. But on a positive note, I think what it is kind of demonstrating for you is your own ability to stand confidently within yourself. Because I feel like that security coming through with that Four of Pentacles is really about how secure you are within yourself. And that as long as you have that inner security, you kind of take it with you everywhere you go. And so whether you're in a relationship or you're single, you're secure, right? Because not only do I feel like an ending happened with that Death card, but I feel like a rebirth was coming through as well. And so initially, this experience was very challenging and painful, but I feel like kind of coming through that healing, like mothering type nurturing energy I was talking about, with that kind of that Mother Mary feeling to it, I think is what is showing through as your strength for the month of September. So in your challenge, I'm also kind of feeling like it's almost the same thing. It's like it's a strength, but it's also presenting as your challenge. We'll kind of see when we get clarifiers, but this is the Oracle of Many Paths. And with it being in the challenge position, it's kind of like you're being forced to take steps in a direction that is unknown to you. Like when you don't know where to go, any step forward is the right direction kind of feeling. And I think it's because this could have potentially been a very long-term relationship in the past. And so when we get really used to something and suddenly it's ending, we're like, now what? So almost kind of like this lost type of energy. But the artwork on this card, if you can kind of see, there's like an image of a figure here. It's very faint. But at the center, there's like, it's almost like a heart-shaped shield coming through. And so I kind of feel like the challenge is going to be just kind of following that heart, your intuition, because the path you're walking down right now is new. You're not going to know it. We do have the Five of Wands, the King of Cups, and the Star. So a couple of things coming through as challenges. Now the Five of Wands alone is conflict. So you could be experiencing conflict with this past person, or just inner conflict within yourself. It could also be that there's a little bit of game playing going on with this person. And so that's coming through as one of your challenges for the month. I can also see that at the same time, you know, we had the Knight of Cups as one of the strengths, but I also see it as a challenge here, because what you're really being asked to do, and what might feel very difficult, is to get in touch with those deeper emotions. Like this person's, it says King of Cups, it is a feminine standing here in like choppy water, but her entire dress is made out of stone. And so I feel like the challenge is kind of opening up to the potentials, right? Kind of getting into the flow. And the Star. So it could be challenging this month to heal from this situation. But like I was saying about that hermit reflective energy, the Star is what sits in his lantern. And so it can become a strength once we have kind of taken that deep dive to really reflect and learn about our inner wisdom. So this month it could be challenging to heal from this situation. You'll probably continue to do so for some time. But also it might be challenging. You can kind of see she's looking off into the distance, and the Star is actually like a little fairy wand. So it could be hard to make choices about what path to take here. Like, what do I want next? That could be hard to see right now. Let's clarify. So for the Five of Wands, we're getting the Ace of Swords and Judgment. For the King of Cups, we're getting the Strength card. That makes sense. And the Knight of Swords. And for the Star, we're getting the Ten of Cups and the Nine of Cups. Okay, yep. So from a challenge perspective for the month of September, I do feel like something that is going to cause some conflict is kind of making a decision about this, potentially this relationship. It may be that this person attempts to come back. And so that is going to be causing some inner conflict. It could be one of the things, one of the paths presented to you of this many paths here. But I think there's a truth that is spoken that is going to, I think, kind of project you into a different future than if you were to return to this person. It could be that they are coming through with a truth to communicate to you. And I think that now there's a couple scenarios coming through here. This person could have been seeing other people on the down low, and that comes out somehow. it's not escaping me that it's sitting just below this many paths. And it's that Five of Wands where she's got all these players on the board. So that could be some truth that's coming through in September. So just heads up, that doesn't have to be the case. But some sort of truth is coming forward. Now I think another part of the challenge is going to really be communicating your feelings about it. It's going to require some courage to kind of open up. Specifically, if this person has hurt you or caused some heartbreak in the past, it's going to be really tempting to be unfeeling. You know, the King of Cups can be very unexpressive of his deep emotions. They're there. He's very intuitive. He's very connected to those emotions. But he has a skill of being able to remain solid and sometimes can come off a bit unfeeling and cold. And so I think it's going to require some, like, kind of a bit of courage to speak up. Okay? And like I was saying about the star, it's kind of like trying to decide what's the path forward. What do I want now? Because we have the Ten of Cups and the Nine of Cups. So could very well be that Ten of Cups is an ending. But what I'm really more getting from this is just like, okay, what does life look like moving forward? And so it could just feel like you're kind of going, you're just taking steps blindly for a bit of time until it becomes more clear to you. But what I really feel like is positive about this is like the Ten of Cups and the Nine of Cups, something is really going to present itself at some point, and it's going to demonstrate to you why it was a positive thing to leave this relationship, okay? Because our outcome, I love this card, is peace. And so it's like it opens up so much space. Like, I think that's what I'm really seeing about this card is like she's sitting in meditation in what looks to kind of be like almost like a desert type of environment here. But there's all this space around her. Like there's no other people. It's kind of like this ending opens up space in your life for not just peace, but for other things to come in. Now this is the waning crescent moon. You can kind of see there's just a sliver of it left. And it can be like those last few moments before the new moon or the dark moon, where we kind of go into this space of healing and a space of deciding what we want next. So it's like you're almost there. In September, you kind of get to this spot where you just find this like, okay, even though I don't know what's coming, even though I don't know where I'm going yet, it's almost like this sigh of relief kind of feeling. And I do feel like the clarity that you seek will be coming. So we have the Two of Wands, the Emperor, and the Four of Cups. I feel like this Emperor has come up quite a bit for the fire signs. I feel like every fire sign has gotten the Emperor so far. So there could very well be some alignments in September that are having to do with the sign of Aries. I haven't looked into it, but I do believe Chiron is being impacted a few times in September, and that is the sign he is sitting in right now. So that could be playing into that Emperor energy. But it's like you get to this, the outcome is like you get to this place of peace and serenity and like this sigh of relief. And then You can see she's like gazing up at the moon. You can finally get to a point where you make a decision about what it is that you want next in your life. Whether it's love, moving, you know, whatever. But somehow I feel like no matter what's been going on, you are still like protected by the universe here. You see how she's like being shielded from the rain by this Canadian goose that's sitting behind her, and she's not even seeing it. And so there could very well be an offer coming in with that Four of Cups, or just simply protection. So let's take a look at the outcome. Why do we have the Two of Wands? The King of Pentacles. That has also come up a lot in the fire signs. And the Three of Wands, yeah. So more security moving forward, expansion, like being able to see how you can kind of rebuild moving forward. Especially when you get to a place where you can kind of take charge. With the Emperor and the King of Pentacles here, you're kind of bossing up. We have the Eight of Pentacles and the Six of Cups. So it could very well be that in the future you decide to work on this past relationship with that Six of Cups. After you've kind of been through the ringer here. But that could also be just kind of knowing what to work on now after leaving the past in the past, right? And this Four of Cups, what's coming in? We have the Nine of Swords and the Knight of Cups. So there's that cup coming in, that fourth cup that's being offered. I'm going to get one more on this Nine of Swords. I almost wonder if this past person's coming in to make a love offer, and it kind of stresses you out here. And maybe you're like, I don't know if I want that now. You get one more on this Nine of Swords. Yep, Queen of Pentacles. So we have the King and Queen of Pentacles. This could very well be a past person that attempts to come back in when you finally get into this place of peace. So pay attention to that. Let me get one on the Four of Cups. The King of Wands. Yeah. I think you're going to be faced with a choice here. And that with that King of Wands, which could very well be your energy, Sagittarius. But with that King of Wands, like, you know, the King of Wands nurtures something he's passionate about so that it can grow. And with it coming in as clarifier for that Four of Cups, I don't know if you're so sure if you want to put the time in anymore into this past relationship. So that is the outlook for September. Like I said, especially since this came through so clearly as a love soulmate type of situation, keep an eye out for the fall love prediction for the sign of Sagittarius. That should be coming out later this week. And I hope that was helpful. So please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.